Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another criticism here on the channel. And, oh boy, this is going to be a long one, let me tell you. It is going to be, hopefully, my last video slash criticism on Pokemon Go. I have beaten this game to the ground so many times over the years, but rightfully so, because I have played it and gotten invested with it numerous times. And every single time, it just seems like I hate it more and more, to the point where now I just have so many things to talk about what Niantic's been pulling lately, even when I did quit again, because I did actually get back into it last year and then quit. But, oh my god, I don't even know where to begin with this. Actually, I do. Basically, the title of the video. Pokemon Go hates its player base. The only exception to that is if you're one of the whales that invests their entire paycheck every week into playing this game. Lately, it is not any more apparent than that, because some of the things that Niantic tries to pull nowadays with how badly this is monetized or rigged or whatever the heck you want to call it, it's just disgusting to me, because this game had such huge potential to be something great. I've said it once and I said it again. The whole concept of literally getting out of the house and physically going to places to play the game is great. The AR concept, really fun idea, really interesting concept. And that's one of the things I like most. Whether it's going to a park, physically going to a park and having fun, going on a road trip, going to a specifically like a city for an event or something, and the community and the friends you meet along the way, that's the biggest positive with this game. But everything else is garbage. There was a time back in 2023 that I actually decided to try to pick up the game and play it again, and I deeply regret it. It was fine for like the first couple of weeks, but then after that, it just seemed like the game was just so unbelievably frustrating and unenjoyable. Of course, I was one of the players that didn't pay anything and tried to play as free as possible. And that is where the problem lies. I'm going to give you many examples on how Niantic basically punishes their player base if they don't pay up constantly. Just a little friendly reminder, because I know I've mentioned some of these examples before, but it seemed like people didn't quite listen to me, so allow me to repeat myself with some of the examples and add new examples just to show you how bad this game truly is now. I think the primary example probably is still like the one thing that hasn't been updated in like 6+ years, and that's the coin system or the gym system. Regardless of team, it just seems like this game is extremely difficult to earn any sort of free currency in it with how things are structured. And Niantic has done this strictly by design. There's no accident. There's no mistakes. This is all purposely intended to be as frustrating and annoying as possible, so you could spend money instead of dealing with this. It's either one of two things most of the time. It's either you're on there for like less than 10 minutes and you don't get any credit whatsoever because you're in a big city and you get kicked out immediately, or you're on the wrong team, etc. Or the other extreme, where your Pokemon's on there for like 10 days straight, and you only get credit for 1 out of those 10 days when they eventually get knocked out. Those other 9 days, are you sure to earn 450 coins? No, that's not how Niantic wants you to play it, so that you get screwed out of those days. I've heard players literally say, hey, how come we can't just call back our Pokemon whenever we want and get the coins? Or how about we earn currency slowly for battling the gyms, since battling is just easier than defending it? The answer's simple. The reason why they don't do that is because they don't want you to earn currency easily or fast in this game. They want you to be frustrated. They want you to be annoyed. They want you to be fed up with this broken gym system that you just suck it up and just buy the coins. And someone I've talked to pointed this out, especially for my case, considering I was on Team Instinct and it took me a long time just to earn currency. So think about this. It takes me about 1 hour sometimes just to get gyms defeated and put Pokemon on gyms eventually, especially at night. Don't even get me started on that. The only way I'm able to earn currency is if I take gyms at 1 a.m., which technically is illegal in some places, but oh well. But yes, roughly 1 hour just to make sure that all the Pokemon are all set, just to get what is essentially 2 quarters worth of currency. And someone I knew pointed out, why would you waste 1 hour getting 50 coins when you can literally work 1 hour at your job and get like 50 times that? That question is literally what Niantic wants you to think. I am wasting my time. This is basically a second job for me to earn 50 cents for 8 hours of defending. And sometimes you put actual physical effort into that because you're battling gyms constantly or looking for the right gym to put on a Pokemon so you don't get knocked out right away. And that's what the whole problem is with this gym system. It's tedious, it's a mad scientist experiment, and it's basically up to RNG if you think about it. Not actual RNG because other players are involved, but it's random chance whether or not that you consistently get those 50 coins a day. Who knows how much effort you have to put in, and who knows if you're lucky enough to get knocked out at a specific time, not too early, not too late. Every single day to make sure that you get 50 coins a day. Or, you could just work 1 hour and get like 1,500. There's that. This gym system has always been a major problem with this game, especially with the whole team medallion thing, how that's a catch-22, how the main reason why I want to switch teams is I can't earn any coins, but the item in the shop costs 1,000 coins. And it makes no sense, and Niantic knows it, where even if I were to purchase the team medallion for the $10, why would I bother do that when I can put that $10 into other items that would benefit me in the game? I'm basically putting $10 into trying to earn more money back. I would have to, at minimum, defend gyms for 20 perfect days to get that money back I just spent. So really, the team medallion is just a big scam. There's no point in changing your team unless you just want to be on the same team as your friends or something. But if you're trying to do it specifically to earn coins faster, it's an entirely waste of your time, and you might as well just put that $10 into items or bag space or whatever that you want. So far it looks like that paying players just have a big advantage overall because those who don't pay basically have to do borderline slave labor just to get any currency in this game, while those who have money can just be like, here's my credit card, I get everything I want. But that's not all. Allow me to bring up what I think is the biggest offender of this game. Eggs. Or loot boxes in disguise. Does anyone remember back when eggs were kind of fun and it was actually enjoyable to have a little surprise every once in a while to see what Pokemon you get? Yeah, nowadays Niantic just uses eggs as an excuse just to milk more money out of its player base. And it can't be more apparent now than with some of the obscenely rare hatches, or heck, even hatch events that are going on now. The big thing that I really don't understand about eggs, and I'm surprised that Niantic has gotten away with it this long, is that really stupid, meaningless tier list that they have. They show tier list of rarities from 1 star to 5, 1 being most common and 5 being the most rare. But you know what's missing from this tier list? Actual percentages. How common is tier 1? How rare is tier 5? You do not know this. I've mentioned this many times where people think that this tier list is a really good idea and it shows so much, when no, it doesn't. This is some of the most vague odds I've ever seen. Imagine playing like other gacha games, or heck, even the lottery. Imagine playing the lottery and the guy at the counter says that, oh, okay, the $10 prize is the most common, but the grand jackpot, it's very rare. Yeah, how rare are we talking about? There should be actual odds and percentages by law. Somehow governments don't think the egg hatching mechanic is loot boxes or random chance or anything, because even Belgium hasn't banned this game yet. And Belgium is notorious for banning all games that have any sort of lottery-based or gambling-based mechanics in them. If I were to take a wild guess, it has something to do with the fact that Pokemon is so innocent and thinks that nothing can go wrong with this damn company, but I digress. Even so, if you are a free player, you will definitely not enjoy this egg hatching system whatsoever, because the amount of eggs that you can hatch is incredibly slow, being 1 at a time, maybe an extra one once in a while if you're able to get some like free research or something with incubators, but nowadays that's few and far between, if not impossible. But Niantic does not care about those who just use the infinite one. They want everybody to shell out as many incubators as they possibly can to make sure that they don't miss out on any of the new Pokemon that are out, or to ensure that they do eventually get what they want. Like, I think Frigibax is a big example. Oh, and Larvasta. Don't get me started on that. Too late, I actually am getting started on it. So it's in the tier 5 all by itself. Some people are speculating that it's 1 out of every like 150 hatches. Other people are saying they've hatched 500 eggs and still haven't gotten one of those damn things yet. Who knows how many it actually will take for you to get it. But having something this obscenely rare just makes it so it's just a dopamine effect of trying to get that one Pokemon that you really want just to fill your decks out, and hopefully doing it before Niantic takes it out of the egg pool. And now we have hatch days as well, which the whole hatch day with Riolu, I think, was just a big scam, honestly, where it wasn't necessarily, hey, oh, there's no chance of getting Riolu, I didn't get it. It's more so having to free up your egg space before the event starts was the biggest red flag there. Where if you didn't have like 9 incubators going and carefully hatch them as soon as the event starts, you had way significantly less chances to get Riolus or even to get a shiny one or whatever than the person who dumped a bunch of super incubators into this. Hatch days are not made for the average player. They are only made for whales just to capitalize on getting shinies. And now all of a sudden there's collection challenges that involve hatching specific Pokemon out of eggs within a very strict limited time. Yeah, good luck with that, by the way, especially trying to get 7-kilometer eggs and walking them one at a time. Those are not made for you. Those are made for those who already have 9 incubators going all at the same time at all times. So you can just pretend that challenge doesn't exist. Now, on to the biggest offender of eggs, and that is Salazzle. Yeah, I honestly couldn't stand this stupid thing the moment I seen it, because I knew right from the beginning how much of a scam/caps grab this was. Basically, how it works is you need to get a female Salandit, and the only way to get a Salandit at all is with the 12-kilometer eggs from the Rocket Leaders. Getting an egg from the Rocket Leader is already a pain in the butt as enough as it is, where you have to defeat 6 grunts to form the components, get the Rocket Radar, then you're able to battle the leader to get the 12-kilometer egg, and then you have a shot at getting a Salandit. And then you have a 1 in 8 chance on top of that for it to be a female one. So you have the odds with the eggs, which it's in like a like a rarer tier all on its own. Then you have to factor in the 1 in 8 chance for it to be female. And on average, by doing some rough math, it's about 100 of those 12-kilometer eggs on average for you to get a female Salandit. That whole thing is basically just a money sink at the very least. Or maybe you'll get one like in 2027. You have to factor in buying a bunch of super incubators. Who no one's gonna walk 12 kilometers. You're gonna buy the super incubators so you could cut it down to 8 kilometers instead of 12. And then you have to factor in buying the rocket radars for $2 each. It's just significantly faster instead of like painstakingly battling all of these grunts, which nowadays the grunts are really nasty with their Pokemon. It takes a lot of effort and healing items to even battle some of them now, with the exception of like that joke Magikarp one that's still cruising around. But other than that, a lot of them are really difficult to defeat. And then you have to battle the Rocket Leader on top of that. So unless you want to like spend so much of your life trying to grind out these damn 12-kilometer eggs, your best bet is just to shell out like $280 on average to try to get that female Salandit. That alone is just disgusting to me. Like, they're adding like unnecessary grind on top of the random mechanics / gambling. How anyone can say that the system is not that bad is delusional. Literally, there's no need to add grind on top of gambling. It's bad enough that you're getting the eggs as it is, and it's a random chance with those. But do we need like 5 extra steps just a chance to get it? Adding all of those steps and being disappointed that you hatch something you have 1,000 of, like I think Vullaby is still an option where everyone's sick of seeing that stupid thing. As soon as you get another one of those for like the 10th time in a row, you're just so fed up that you're like, screw it, I'm just gonna grind super fast because I just want to get this thing over with. Eggs is one of the most disgusting mechanics in this game. It is not consumer friendly. It took something that was fun with the Pokemon games and turned it into something that is extremely frustrating, non-enjoyable, and made strictly for those who have gambling problems or those who have a bunch of money to burn. And the fact that these have tier lists, you don't even know how they could even be manipulated against you. I have a prime example right here. Back when I played, I used Dragonite, and I use Machamp in battling gyms all the time. They have like 30,000 wins each. That's not even a joke. I battled gyms all the time and had fun. Something tells me that Niantic records how often you use Pokemon for gyms/raids, because it just seemed odd to me how Machop specifically was one of the most common hatches in that season for the 5-kilometer eggs. I've hatched a total of 3 of them. The other Pokemon in the same tier, especially that stupid Marini Pokemon, whatever the heck it is, a stupid anemone looking thing, I hatched 15 of them. How is it that, conveniently enough, the one thing I need the least is the thing I get the most, and the thing I need the most is the thing I get the least? This is why the tier list is total BS, especially with the Adventure Sync eggs too, with trying to get Dratini. I almost broke my phone once because I got Rockruff for 4 weeks in a row. Everything else on that list, like Gumi, Gibble, Riolu, and especially Dratini, I needed and never got them, except for like 1 Dratini after 16 months of trying. You can't tell me that this game can't just manipulate the odds against you and make you try to hatch more eggs. It's not proven, but it's not disproven either. Why else would they have such a tier system that has such vague odds or very minimal descriptions when other games have all of the odds shown at all times? Even Mario Kart Tour, when I gave that game a lot of crap for being a manipulative gotcha game, even they had all of the odds listed for everything, no matter how common and no matter how rare. This game here, you don't even know. They could easily just manipulate the odds against you, and people can just say, oh, it's just bad luck. Like, can you prove that? No, you can't prove that. Before I get on to raids, that also reminds me of something that could potentially be rigged too, and that's catch rates and also experience rates. Because I've had a couple of experiences on my own that kind of made me a little skeptical on how rigged this game could be. Take this with a grain of salt because, again, this is just speculation and experiences on my part. There's no actual proven data or evidence for this, but recently how Niantic encrypted the code so that way data miners cannot see catch rates anymore? And it seems like, conveniently enough, some players are reporting that certain Pokemon, especially new ones out nowadays, are extremely difficult to catch now. And not only that, I've had certain Pokemon on me ever since then auto-flee on me. Things that had used to have really high catch rates and low flee rates automatically fled on me. Hell, the reason why I quit the game again is because I had the same nonsense with a Dragonite that spawned in the wild. It fled on the first ball and did that silly little animation where it half shakes, breaks out, and flees on the first ball. Most of the time, that animation usually plays when you're driving. I was not driving at the time. Heck, I even clicked on a different Pokemon and reset my game and caught that beforehand just to double check to make sure the game didn't think I was driving. But when it came to Dragonite, nope, fled on the first ball. I wonder why, because the game probably knows I need XL candy for that, and it wants to keep me engaged and wants me to keep grinding out eggs, or whatever event it is at the time. Also, with excellent throws. I couldn't even tell you how many times where I've gotten excellent throws. Maybe the first few work perfectly fine, but if I'm playing for more than a couple hours at a time, I start to notice my excellent throws fail way more often, and regular standard throws or even nice throws work way more. It's weird how I could get 4 excellent curveball throws on a Pokemon in a row and it fails every time, but the one time I mess up the shot, it works perfectly fine. And heck, even sometimes critical catches. Or the medals work, conveniently enough. I think this game has a hidden mechanic where it hinders your XP game if you play too long. The only exception to that is if you hatch eggs or do raids. Because of course they want you to do that because it costs money to do that if you want to do it a lot. There's no way to prove that this game manipulates the catch rate against you. But what I've seen so far, if you play for an extended period of time, Pokemon seem to be very, very difficult to catch if you play too long. So the way they do that is to try to keep you engaged or try to push you to earn XP in different ways, especially raids, where that technically is the most viable way to earn XP to date, excluding the friendship system. I'm curious to know if anybody else noticed anything like this, where it just conveniently enough that the things you're trying to get the candy for the most, you get the least of from eggs, or you get the less hatches from eggs, or if things that you're trying to go for in the wild are just fighting you that much in terms of either XP or specifically you want to evolve something or power something up, and it literally gives you the biggest hard time ever. Because I've even had moments where I've played the game a long time and then I have like level 1 seals flee on me. I remember that. People say that I was driving and I shouldn't have been, but I wasn't driving. No, I was walking around and it just so happened to auto flee on me. I think the game literally has a mechanic that it hinders your XP gain if you play it too much. And again, engagement equals money at the end of the day, so it makes sense. But especially of engagement, let's talk about the raids. The other loot box. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, oh, raids aren't actually loot box, you're guaranteed to know what you're getting. No, nonsense. Absolutely not. With the raids, you may know what Pokemon you're battling in the raid, but everything after that, minus the guaranteed XP if you win and the 2 golden Raz and the Stardust, is completely random. Do you know if that Pokemon has good IVs? No. Do you know if that Pokemon is going to be shiny? No. Heck, do you know if you're even going to catch that Pokemon at all? No. Do you know what extra items you're going to get besides maybe potions 80% of the time? No. These things here, with all of these randomly generated things, constitutes as a loot box. You may play the raid and you're guaranteed to get specific things, but there's way too much RNG to be in here to not be considered that. I will always use Rayquaza Raid Day Weekend from several years ago as an example, where usually, according to like Sylph Road back when they were a thing, they constituted that 1 in 20 was the odds of getting a shiny legendary on average. But conveniently enough, most people were rating 30 to 60 times to get one single shiny Rayquaza. Especially nowadays where certain things are encrypted and you can't see odds anymore, and you can only go by people's experiences and tally them down. It's just very, very convenient that one of the most popular shinies in the franchise, Shiny Rayquaza, and people have a very difficult time trying to get one and have to spend over $50 sometimes trying to get a single one. Funny how that worked out. And this was back when remote raid passes were at their peak, too. You know Niantic made a bunch of money off of that. It's a shame, too, because the concept of raids, again, was an interesting one, where you gather with a bunch of people, whether it's your friends or just people passing on the street to battle a really powerful Pokemon. The concept was interesting, but unfortunately, it's been completely destroyed and corrupted. Nowadays, like, doing raids is just one of the primary ways they make money, where some Pokemon are just strictly locked behind raids. Druddigon and now Turtonator are prime examples of that, where these Pokemon debuted with their shiny, but you can only get them in raids. Druddigon was an exception with the collection challenge, but Turtonator? Nope. They decided not to do a collection challenge with that and only tie it to raids. There were field research tasks on how to get them, but you had to do 3 raids in order to complete the task. So either way, you're doing raids, like how Niantic pulled that one. That's almost false advertising in a way, where, oh, you can get it in field research, not just raids. The task is do 3 raids. Raids have also been the primary target for Mega Evolution as well. Now, I remember in my last long stream that I made a rant of with Pokemon Go, I actually praised the Mega Evolution update, but the more I look at it now, I take back everything I said. Screw that update. That update was only good because what we had prior to that was way worse, and they kind of just made it less of the two evils. But you still have to do so many raids in such a limited time just to be able to Mega Evolve one time. You can't earn any energy, or you can't reduce any cooldown unless you've Mega Evolved at least one time. So if you don't consistently raid during the week or whatever it's out, and you miss out on it, you basically are screwed out of luck, and you have to just wait for the Pokemon to come back. Who knows how long it'll be. That fear of missing out factor to fill in that Mega Dex and try to get that medal and all that other things, that's there. You have that week. You better do all of those raids. Especially with free passes. Who's going to be doing free passes? and trying, especially in the wintertime as recording this video, going out there and just freezing your butt off in like 10-degree weather below freezing. Nobody. That's why the incentive is there to do the remote raid passes regardless. And you're kind of, unless you are able to like go to the mall and maybe get lucky or something, you will not be getting these mega evolutions anymore without shelling a bunch of money. These free passes you get every day are borderline useless now, where you can't even stack them. That's always been a problem with these free passes, is you have to use the pass you have to get another one, and if you don't, you theoretically lose the pass for that next day. It's just a very scummy system that it is not consumer friendly at all. It just tries to keep you engaged way more than you have to. You better do a raid every single day just to make sure that you get enough candies. You have to make sure you have free time every single day to use one of those passes. You have to make sure that you're able to get to a mega raid in person every single day and hope other people are showing up there. The free passes are basically useless, and they take way more effort to use than they have any right to. Again, by design. Those passes are made that way on purpose, so that way the remote passes are more enticing to purchase, even with their price hike, or even the premium battle passes where you can just stack up on those, and you can just do a bunch of raids in a day, because it's more convenient just to have one day free instead of your entire week free in order to get that mega evolution. On average, it takes around, I want to say 5 to 10 raids, depending on what mega it is and how quickly you're able to defeat the boss in order to get that mega. I know certain mega evolutions have like a whole like huge event dedicated to them that lasts more than a week, but a lot of these that are on rotation now are basically on for only a week, and you don't know when they're coming back. The only exception to that is finding those extremely rare to find research tasks that gives you like 10 energy, maybe 25, depending on what season it is. I don't even know if those are even still around anymore, but I know when I played, you had to like power up a bunch of Pokemon in order to get like 10 energy, which is kind of funny if you think about it, because you're basically sacrificing Stardust in order to get the Mega Energy. So either way, you're paying something, whether it's your coins to get passes or your hard-earned Stardust just to get minimal energy. Yep, sounds about right to me. Oh, wait, according to my notes, there's also rare tasks that you can catch Pokemon of a specific type to earn energy. But it really doesn't matter. The chance of finding these is like 1 in 500 or something. They're so obscenely rare that you would have to go around in the city like 3 times trying to find any one of these tasks, and maybe if you're lucky. The amount of time and effort it takes just to try to save up energy without actually doing the raids is not necessarily worth it. You're better off just trying to ignore them entirely, like I do. No, of course not. Well, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, I think the main reason why this game has gone to garbage now is because of the new seasonal format they've done. It seems like ever since that Niantic has switched to a season-based format where like every season lasts 90 days or 3 months or whatever, it just seems like the game has gotten way worse in terms of wild Pokemon spawning, or just there's way too many events to focus on within the seasons. It's just way too, it's both overwhelming and it's both anti-consumer in terms of like how much is paywalled now. Honestly, I never really agreed with the whole like paid ticket thing. I remember back when events used to be like very consumer friendly and people looked forward to them because it was just something new, something exciting. There was new Pokemon being introduced, or there was like just a theme going on, and it was very like consumer friendly and the community friendly. But ironically, not even the community days are really friendly anymore, and without being paywalled. Now, I can understand with GoFest maybe how it was just a big event and you paid like $15 for like a grand experience. It was almost like a ticket you can do at your home or something. But even then, I still found it to be overpriced. But at least there was a lot of content in it that it could be excused. But like nowadays, it seems like every little event, even like the weak ones, has some sort of paid research or paid event, or special box that you can only get with this event, or mainly focused on raids or eggs, so you have to pay for those as well. Like, even the community days, like I mentioned before, they used to be just, oh, it's about a Pokemon, catch a bunch, find shinies, have fun. But now, of course, now there's $1 research every time. And now the special boxes have went from like 4 something for coins, and now it's like 1,300 because of those elite TMs that are in it. It's just disgusting. Even some of the new features that they've done have been just completely lackluster. It seems like those were almost an afterthought, just adding new stuff just for the sake of adding new stuff, just to keep the game quote-unquote fresh. But in reality, they want you to focus more on the events and slash tickets and stuff. Someone also pointed out that with these features that recently were released, or even a past couple of ones, it seems like if you do the exact opposite of what these features entail, you get more enjoyment out of it. Primary example is probably the Pokestop Showcase, where the whole point of the showcase is to show off, currently, your biggest Pokemon of that species that you found that fits the criteria. But you get way more rewards if you just go in the middle of the woods that nobody ever goes to, especially in the cold, and just find a showcase there, put a Pokemon on it, and be guaranteed to win because nobody else showed up. Defeats the whole purpose of showcases. Here's another one with routes. Instead of exploring cool new areas, you maximize your benefits by creating short routes that don't require you to go anywhere out of your way at all. So basically, as according to that source there, just make up, instead of creating something really interesting, like going through parks and all this other stuff, no, create the very bare minimum route that takes no effort to get maximum rewards. Sure, again, defeats the purpose of that. Or how about the Go Battle League, where the best way to get rewards is to lose? Not even joking with that one. Yes, by losing up to 75 times in a row, from what I've been told, on purpose, by just selecting, I don't know, send 10 CP Weedles or something, the game will have a pity system, feel bad for you, and then you could get easy wins for like the next 25 times and have your rank skyrocket just by basically just getting freebies. Because that's how broken this system is. PvP itself is all pay to win, but luckily, with the whole pity system, you don't really have to worry about that. Just keep losing on purpose repeatedly, then the game feels sorry for you, and then you can win 25 times in a row and max out your rewards that way. Or how about the terms of raids, or even the party play feature, where the best way to play is by yourself. How? Oh, with just multiple accounts and multiple phones. It's more convenient, more reliable, and you don't have to worry about other people. It's perfect, simple as that. This game is broken. Niantic seriously has so many ways to fix bugs or features that don't really work, but no, their main priority isn't that. It's these ticketed events. These ticketed events have gotten so out of hand, it's just apparent that's where all the focus is now. It came to my attention at the time of editing this video that Niantic has revoked some paid timed research for the Raging Battle event, and players are actually praising them for it, which I actually wouldn't be doing that. I don't think they're doing it at the kindness of the heart. Looking at the rewards given for the $2 you're spending, you're only getting 2 passes for winning 3 raids, and also getting 10,000 dust for powering up 25 times. So the only thing in addition you'd be getting is a rocket radar, which is the equivalent of just spending $2 on it anyway. So I think Niantic's trying to revoke this stupid decision before they get sued for basically scamming people out of their money. So I wouldn't quite praise them yet for doing the right thing. I think they're just trying to save themselves. Every single event has some sort of paid ticket. Even the seasons now have special little $5 tickets every month, which someone else pointed this out. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that noticed this. These little pay-to-win features or whatever, it's just an incognito monthly subscription. That's all it is. If you're paying $5 for special benefits every month, that's basically a monthly subscription that doesn't renew itself. Am I wrong? Especially when they're taking out features from previous events that were free, and they're now putting it behind this paywall. Oh, like the ability to open up more gifts and send more gifts to your friends? No, that's locked behind a $5 paywall now, every month. Niantic's priorities are so out of whack that literally now with certain events where they're saying, hey, shiny Pokemon are supposed to be released, they're forgetting to even do that now. It happened twice this month alone, as a time of recording. One of which was Espeon and Umbreon, which is supposed to be in the wild. Oops, we forgot to put him in there. Here's 5 regular potions as compensation. You know, giving the players literally nothing and saying, oops, our bad, would have been way better. Why give them items that are borderline useless and clog bag space? That's not even enough to heal a Blissey a quarter of the way. And the biggest topper so far, when Tornadus was supposed to have a raid hour or something, and its shiny was supposed to be out, they forgot to enable the shiny. So there's plenty of people that used, that I know, 5 premium remote raid passes. They use 5 of them. That costs around 1,000 coins. Niantic's compensation is not to refund those passes that people used because they basically got baited into getting something that was impossible. Their way of compensation is 1 remote raid pass and 3 standard battle passes. The green ones, not the orange ones, obviously. So not only are you not getting back what you paid for, but you're getting items that have not only less value, but less use now. Niantic's like, whoops, here you go. You can just use these and freeze your butt off in the freezing cold. It's just blatant how much this company just doesn't care about its player base. The only ones that actually they care about are the ones that shell in a bunch of money. Why is everything paywalled this bad now? Do we need to have a paid ticket every single event now? No, we do not. This is ridiculous. Do we need to have events that are strictly tied with raids that are all randomly generated and all eggs that are all randomly generated? No, we do not. Whatever happened to some of the whole, like, oh, just here's Pokemon spawning, go catch them, which is apparent for some, but now even the catch rates for some of the new Pokemon are so obscenely high. And unless you have a bunch of golden raspberries that you wailed to get from those raids, it's not enjoyable to catch most of these Pokemon because they break out of like 20 balls and maybe even flee all the time. And some people are excited and thrilled that the whole Go Tour for Sinnoh is a free experience and not a paid ticket like the prior years. I'm sorry, but I don't trust that whatsoever. They made a lot of money on these Go Tours previously. Why would they just throw that away if they don't have something up their sleeves? My guess is with these special adventure abilities or something that Dialga and Palkia have, which are totally not worth it, by the way, because the only way to... you have to dump in so much candy and Stardust just for like 5 to 10 minutes worth of effect. That's right. One effect was a bug they turned into a feature where for a limited time, for I think for like a week or something, the spawn radius for finding Pokemon was like doubled for your character for some reason. And they took that out and like, oh, I'm sorry. No, we didn't mean to do that. But it's funny how now that's back with Palkia's special ability and it's obscenely expensive to activate that. They literally turned a bug that everyone liked into a feature. Same thing with the gift opening. Again, it's a feature that everyone liked. They took it out and said, oh, we're listening to feedback. Yeah, they are listening to feedback, but they also want you to pay up to get the most benefit out of that. So you can't even trust them anymore. Who knows what they're going to do with this event? My guess is they're not going to have any free passes at all for raids. You're going to have to stock up on buying them all the time. And for all of the special Pokemon that are region locked, ordinarily, that are now open for the 10-kilometer eggs, I can guarantee that there's going to be a big, huge bundle of incubators waiting for you to purchase. This event may not have a paid ticket. Oh, but believe me, Niantic will get their money one way or another. And if you are one of these free players that want to play casually and try to enjoy the event to its fullest, kind of feel bad in a way. Because I know deep down you're just going to have some regret because you didn't shell in a bunch of raid passes and incubators and all this other stuff just to have the most benefit from it. It is apparent now, with all the examples that I've given, and heck, there's probably some that I even missed, that Niantic does not care about any of its player base. Pokemon Go hates you unless you're a whale. If you do not shell out money at a consistent rate, you will have a bad time playing this game. You will get significantly less progress, significantly less Pokemon, and significantly less shinies overall. Niantic has purposely designed this game for those who do not play, get either punished with obscenely long effort and wait times, or the inability to fully enjoy most of the content that this game now provides. Probably one of the biggest prime examples of this is that Master Ball research that had you do 60 raids in less than 90 days in order to get that Master Ball. But the paid $8 research had no such thing. It was some of the most easiest research ever. But because you paid the $8, you got it off easy, and here's your Master Ball, basically for no effort. A lot of the events are also here to keep you engaged. There's so many new events and so many new things going on, or heck, even some of the masterwork research, which purposely makes you spin a stop or catch a Pokemon multiple days in a row in fear of, shoot, if I don't keep doing this, I will lose all of my progress. This is the FOMO, the engagement, and the addiction factor that keeps people coming back, and it's unhealthy. I think to myself now, why do people still play this game if they complain about it a lot? And I was one of those people too. And I know exactly what the reason why is. A lot of people have sunk cost fallacy with this game, and they have a fear of if they quit the game, they literally just wasted 7+ years of their life for literally nothing. I was in that same boat too, where you really don't want to admit that this game isn't worth it anymore, and the fact that you wasted all of your time and possibly money playing this and not even enjoying it anymore. Because nobody wants to admit that they're wasting their time on something they don't truly enjoy anymore. It's a very crappy feeling, and I get that. But honestly, like, quitting this game is probably the best thing that I've ever done, because even nowadays with how everything is just so strict and so paywalled and everything is you got to do all these dailies, you miss out on things. It literally takes over your life in an unhealthy way. Niantic does not care about you as a player. They care about you as an investment. They want to know your location data, and they want to know how much money you are willing to invest into this game if they persuade you enough. They don't care about making fun events that everyone can participate in and have a great time. They care more about adding frustration to your gameplay that you will be strong-armed into making a purchase to make the experience more enjoyable for yourself. And for me personally, I think the best way to enjoy this game is to cut your losses and quit entirely. It's not easy to stop what you've been doing for the past 7+ years, but it feels so good knowing that you are no longer a prisoner inside Niantic's little AR game. And that about wraps it up for me. Let me know down in the comments below, God, this video went on long, that of your experiences with Pokemon Go. Do you feel the same way as I did? Do you feel like this game is not nearly as good anymore? Do you think Niantic is just a bunch of greedy a-holes? Like, I just want to know everything. Whether it's experiences with the game or whatever it is, because I can't be on the same boat. There must be people out there that still play even to this day that just feel like this game has nowhere near the magic it did like 5+ years ago. So leave a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're into this sort of like criticism format that I like to do, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.